Alright, what's up guys? In today's video, we're going to talk about the new update that just dropped that nerfed the Krig and the C58 both. We're going to talk about how it actually affected those best class setups. I'm going to be uploading an individual video basically breaking down what is the best long-range AR after both these guns have been nerfed, because I think the meta is about equal now. But the one thing I want to cover specifically in this video, and this video only, is how these guns nerfs affect them in the overall meta and where they rank currently in that meta. So we're going to take a look at first. Number one is obviously what I always think is the best class setup for you guys. The 4X, it gives you the best stabilization, kind of like the Commando foregrip does with that horizontal recoil control. The 4X on the C58 is excellent for recoil, and ADS wise is a very minimal difference. With the nerf of the range, I definitely think you're going to need it now. The Krig 6 class setup is the same as always, especially after the nerf. The mil spec is definitely the best barrel to use now. Definitely don't recommend the Ranger at all. Obviously, agency, field agent, 60, axial 3 times. So we're going to take a look next is obviously what the actual changes are and how they actually directly affect the weapon. Alright, so what you guys can see on the screen, first I'll showcase a little patch notes so you guys can see this is what they claimed they changed. And then we're going to take a look at, obviously, now is what actually happened. On the right side of the screen, I have the actual percentage. I think the most important thing to look at is how it actually affects that best class setup versus what it shows they changed the base. The C58 range was nerfed and the velocity was nerfed, which in my opinion is a huge factor in taking it out of that meta. It still is one of the fastest killing long range guns, but by reducing the velocity is now below average. So anything above 1150 is excellent. 1300 is obviously amazing. So anything below the 1150 1200 mark is below average, which is where it is now. As you guys can see, got a 10% reduction in overall velocity. And then the 36 meters of range was below average as well, which I think they've nerfed twice now. Now at 33.5 meters is tied with the XM4 for having the worst range out of every assault rifle, which was again a 10% nerf. So now it has the worst velocity out of any of the top long-range rifles and has the worst range. So how the velocity is going to affect your time to kill is it's going to make it a little bit harder to hit your shots at range, not be as accurate, and it's actually going to lower your time to kill in some of the situations. Then the ADS was actually pretty good. Putting at 400 puts it right in line with the Kilos, Growls, Krigs, all those other guns, which is now kind of balancing it. So 3 major nerfs, which in my opinion tank this gun pretty hard. With the previous patch, I believe they nerfed the recoil of the 4X, which made it balanced as well. So they're kind of just balancing this weapon. They did say in a tweet or something, I think they said they want to kind of take those guns that were king, kind of like LeBrons, the Michaels, the Kobes, anybody that's been dominating for a decade, they want to take them out and add other people in and make them good. So definitely has happened here with the C58 as far as the Krig. You guys can see the previous patch, they nerfed the range from the 56 meters down to the 53.5. Now after that, they have nerfed it from 56 all the way down to 49.5. So they basically have dropped about 15%. Not in this patch alone, it was only 7.5, but previously adding that on, your total is about 15% lower in range. So previously 56 meters was king. Now it is average. And the big factor here was the minimum damage. This does have a 1.1 multiplier to the chest, which allows you to get 9 shots to kill, which you guys can see here. Previously, you were getting 28. Now, by lowering that damage to 25, your overall damage here is 27. So now is a 10-shot kill, which is a huge nerf. But a excellent factor for this, if my math is correct, it should need only 1 or 2 headshots to get back to that 736, which is obviously with the 27 damage, your damage is like very high. Should only need 1 or 2 headshots, but nerfing the TTK at range, it is now the slowest killing long-range rifle with now average range. So these 2 nerfs, in my opinion, 100% changed the long-range meta and have absolutely crushed these guns and made them average, if not below average, in my opinion. This gun does still have no recoil, which in my opinion is the most accurate gun besides the QBZ. With these nerfs, with the buff of the QBZ in my opinion might make a rise in the meta, but majority of people will probably switch to the Growls and back to the Kilos from Modern Warfare. Quickly covering the EM2, the one huge thing they changed was the base ADS with that terrible optic. It was horrible ADS according to JGod. Now they've basically buffed it about 10%, which makes it okay. And then the damage was dropped from 45 to 41, which takes your shots to kill from 6 to 7, which lowers the overall time to kill. So pre-patch, it was very, very fast, one of the fastest killing guns. Post-patch is now one of the slowest killing guns in the base range, which is at 765 is atrocious. So when you go over here and we look at the overall, this is going to be the TTKs on the screen here. We have the close TTK. This is all pre-patch. The Krig was 644. There's no change. It's still one of the fastest killing guns up to its base range. And like I said, that EM2 is now down here at the very bottom. Post-patch, you guys can see the Krig is worse than the GFUEL. The GFUEL and M13 both only require one headshot to make the time to kill down to 740. So at 828, the Krig is going to be in a class of its own and terrible killing at long range. Does have no recoil, which is a huge negative. You guys can see pre-patch was the 3rd fastest, now being like the 10th slowest. It is terrible at the long range. And then with that C58 at 760 was right there in the middle. By lowering the range, lowering the velocity, it's definitely going to tank this gun at range, which in my opinion is a huge negative. So when you go through and look at those range numbers, you guys can see on my face cam. Pre-patch, like I said, 56 meters was number 1 out of every gun. Post-patch is now right there in between the Kilo and GFUEL. Then the C58 pre-patch was okay. At 36 meters was tied with the AMAX, still bottom 3. But now post-patch is actually the worst, tied with the XM4. So huge nerfs to these guns in my opinion. Like I said, I do expect the M13, the Kilo, the GFUEL, and the QBZ definitely to take a rise into the meta. Maybe we'll see the FAR, because the FAR, you guys can see here, is just one of the fastest killing guns. It absolutely shreds. Like I said, QBZ absolutely shreds. The GFUEL and the M13 are slow in their base range, but they're highly accurate, and they have a one headshot TTK lowering ability at their max range, which will make them one of the fastest killing guns as well. So we're definitely going to have to break this down, cover all these guns, and then compare them head to head with headshots and all that kind of stuff. I always do. So if you guys did enjoy the video, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel down below. Hope that you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you.